So we have we we can actually declare or assign multiple values to multiple variables on the same line. We can also apply one value to multiple variables. For instance, if we have let's say A is equal to B is equal to C, we can say this is equal to uh, orange, right? So if you Control S to save this, and then we go ahead to print. Let's print this out. Let's print each value. Let's say we print A, and then we also print B. Let's print C as well. Control S to save this. If you run, you have orange, orange, orange. So this is how you assign a single value to multiple variables. Now let's talk about unpacking a collection. So if you have a collection of values in a list, we'll talk about different data types very soon in Python, or a tuple. Python allows you to extract the values into variables. So when you extract values from a list, which is a list is similar to an array in JavaScript. When you assign each value from a list to different variables, this is called unpacking of a variable. So let's look at an example of unpacking. So we are discussing unpacking, right, like this. So let's say we have a variable called cities, okay, and then we say that these cities, remember we said that, let's, for example, of a list now, okay, so we have different cities in the list. Let's say we have New York, and then we have Paris, forget, and then we have Abuja. Okay, so if we come, remember we have 3 items in the list here. So if we come and we say n comma p comma a is equal to cities, this is how you unpack. Now we assign each of these variables to be equal to the items inside the variable city. So if we print, normally if you print cities, we're going to print, as we also print n, and then we print p, we also print a. Okay, so Control S to save this. Let's save this and run. So we have the list, which is the cities that we printed. You can see that we have automatically Python automatically assign the first item in the list to the first variable n, and then the second item on the list to the second variable p, and then the last item on the list to the last variable. Sorry. Okay, now what if we have more than 4 variables now? Let's say we have more than 4 variables, but meanwhile the item of the list is 3. You see that we have an error. So we have a value error. That means not enough value to be assigned or to be unpacked. We have just 3 items in the list, and then we are trying to unpack it onto four variable names. You have a value error because we are like if you see the error message, you say not enough values to unpack. So we have just 3 items or 3 values for trying to unpack it onto 4 variables. It will not work. Okay, so take note of that. That's how you unpack variables. Now let's talk about outputting variables. So far we'll be using print to output variables. So the print function is a built-in function in Python that is used to output variables. We have discussed that in the previous version of Python, the Python 2.0. You don't need to put a parenthesis in the after the you don't need to put a parenthesis after the print. Okay, you just write print and then you put the value, and then but from 3.0 you have to put a parenthesis. You have to put a parenthesis like this. That's how you output in Python. Okay, so the print function is used to output in Python. Now, what about the case where you want to output multiple variables? In such case, you want to output multiple variables, like we have in this case now. You see, in this case, we've been putting the printing the function on separate lines. Now, if we want to print NP and A, we can simply say N, comma, P, and comma, A. This will equally print, but now on the same line. Okay, so this is how you output. This is how you output your variables on the same line. I'm going to end this particular lesson at this point, and then in our next lesson we continue with our variables. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.